One of the things I sometimes regret when I focus really in on the race side of leftist exploitation is that gives some sort of illusion that that's the entire scope of it. That the entire scope of the scam is the exploitation of black people. Which is kind of silly because if you think about it, I spent the better part of 3 years talking about how feminism is a scam that exploits women and exploits the chauvinism of men. It's even worse than that. See, the entire left wing is a scam. And I use that word scam very deliberately, just like I use all my words. See, it's not a scam just because they lie to you. It's not a scam just because they exploit you. It's a scam because they're lying to you and exploiting to you for financial gain, using misdirection, lies, and basically scamming people for financial gain. There is a reason why the so-called legacy news media, print media, cable news, etc., have targeted online creators, targeted online platforms every chance they get. There's a reason why Twitter is nothing but outrage mobs. And I mean literally fucking nothing but outrage mobs. There is not a thing on Twitter that is an outrage. I mean, there might be some web comics or some artwork or some bullshit or some porn. And then it's all outrage. 97, 98%. Easy. There's a reason why Wall Street Journal, Huffington Post, Washington Post, there's a reason why CNN is targeting people. There's a reason why the European Union wants to ban fucking memes, or tried and are currently not succeeding. It's an ongoing process for them. The reason why is because the online space is competing with these people, and the thing is, they need complete control over an entire news medium in order to effectively lie to you. The reason why very few people, in terms of, outside of the fucking little blurb, however many characters Twitter is now, universe, outside of the complete, violently sometimes contained political hegemony of places like Tumblr, the reason why free places, or at least places that used to be free, like YouTube, and it used to be free, Facebook, were becoming very competitively right-wing or conservative or just independent or libertarian, basically not progressive left. The reason why that is because all progressives do is lie. And if you were afforded the chance, sorry, I got some truck or some shit outside. If you're afforded the chance and the time to prove your case, you'll find out that the progressives are lying 100% of the time, without exception. They never tell the truth. And it's a little bit terrifying for them, seeing that all it takes is some asshole with a webcam to tell the truth, and all of a sudden, CNN is a meme. Now it's hashtag fake news. Fake news was created as a propaganda term to target independent news creators. Not just, right-wing news, or not just Nazis or Stormfront or some bullshit. It was literally, if it's not a guy in a suit on CNN telling you what's going on, it's fake. And isn't that just sort of a crafted term? It's not just, they're lying to you. It's they're counterfeit. It's not that they're fraudulent. It's that they're counterfeit. They're not the real news. The conceit, the absolute elitist, smug prick conceit is there in the term. It's not, fraudulent news. It's not slander. It's fake news. And of course, that would get turned about on them in an instant, because the entire progressive news apparatus, from CNN to BuzzFeed to MSNBC to the Mary Sue or any of this bullshit, it's not even news. They give you fluff pieces and they give you hit pieces. And do they even discuss substance? Do you know how many times I'm always curious because I love when you get these gotcha progressives when you argue with them online who go like, gotcha, check this out. Here, I'm going to cite my sources like an intellectual. And they send you a Guardian piece that talks about a study or a Guardian piece that talks about a poll. And that Guardian piece doesn't cite the study or link the poll. And worse, when they actually have the balls, it's like, how many times have I mentioned this? Because it's a perfect example of why studies are basically a lie. Aster, shut the fuck up. Aster, there's nobody at the door. It's a fucking garbage truck. Shut the fuck up. The reason, why I keep citing this, there was a quote-unquote study that's not a study. It's a survey that took place, some undergraduate feminist college student in, I believe it was North Dakota University, or a university in North Dakota. It's one of those. I think it's both. Surveyed 73 men, or young men, at the college, and used extremely bizarre wording to ask questions, I guess, related to sexual assault or rape or pressure. And it was the same kind of question over and over again with weird wording. Like, if you thought the girl was okay with it, would you endeavor to pressure her into sex? And every guy in the world is like, yes. It's like, would you consider raping a girl if you thought you could get away with it? I'm like, well, would I consider or would I rape a girl? Well, the way the question is worded is, would I consider it? And people consider evil things all the time, and then their better nature says, no, that's ridiculous. Why the fuck would I ever do that? And then they never dream of it again. It's the same thing that makes you think about murdering people when you're stuck in traffic. You're not actually a murderer. Let's not be liars here. But anyway, this goes from a survey of 73 people where 10 of them said they would, I forget exactly the way the wording is, but it's this really bizarre wording of would consider the options of, or endeavor to, or make their thought process move towards, or something, rape. And 10 of the men, to this most weirdly worded, that actually contains the R word, rape, said yes. But 30% of the men, which was like 18 or 19 of them, I forget, or 20, said that, yeah, they'd pressure a girl into sex because, yeah, you have to persuade / pressure, they mean the same thing in this context, a girl into wanting to have sex with you. You have to change her mind, because, most of the time the default is, make it worth my while, because women are the sexual selectors of the species. It's just the way it works. You have to convince a chick to fuck you. It's just the way it is. But that went from 10%, or, 10 people, which was 16% of the people went along with whatever the weird wording is for rape. And then 30% total said, or 36%, I think it was, said, oh yeah, I'd pressure a girl into sex, because you have to pressure a girl into sex. That got extrapolated to, and keep in mind, this is a sample size of 73 people at a single university in a single country, to 36% of all men everywhere would rape you if they could get away with it. And this was mass fucking reported. This was national news. This little fuckboy survey was called a scientific study from a university. No, it's bullshit. That's what fake news is. Anyway, these people get away with lying to you like that all of the time, if they're not lying to you in an even more egregious and direct ways. And the reason why they're trying to attack people like me, anybody who does, independent journalism, everybody who puts their boots on the ground, is if Washington Post says, or Huffington Post says, or CNN says that what just happened at the Unite the Right 2 rally was little more than a false flag, it could be just that everybody realized, and the neo-Nazis realized oh, hey, that rally was a fucking stupid idea. And not only that, but the government and the police literally tried to get us all killed. And then one of them actually did kill somebody else. And I mean, one of the fucking right-wing people killed somebody else. But it's pretty well established that the police deliberately pushed all of the Unite the Right protesters into Antifa to deliberately start a riot that was directly organized by the mayor of the fucking city. I mean, that's literally what happened. So it's not like a false flag, but it was basically a deliberate riot caused for nefarious reasons. But, you know, nobody there was a good guy. Antifa are terrorists and the fucking alt-right are the alt-right. You know, no good guys present. So this time, it's a few dozen, like I believe no more than 100 alt-right people showed up to Unite the Right, and thousands of Antifa showed up. And there was a huge police presence because they expected even worse and may have been trying to cause even worse. But basically, the alt-right faggots went in there, demonstrated for only a little while, realized they were so badly outnumbered that this was a disaster in the making, and they left. And Antifa, of course, being not a freedom-fighting superhero good guy group, but a terrorist organization who was there spoiling for a fight, realized that there was nobody to fuck with, so they literally just started chanting on the fly all these slogans about how now the cops are the Nazis. The cops are evil. Antifa, which is overwhelmingly white, was, you know, out in a fucking East Coast town where basically a lot of the police force is black and Hispanic. So a terrorist organization that is overwhelmingly white was screaming Nazis and fascists and deliberately trying to incite violence with the police, which was far more diverse than their terrorism, supposedly pro-diversity group. And they immediately just started attacking private property, attacking journalists. Multiple journalists were injured. Several, cameras were destroyed. Private property was burned, cars were flipped, and police officers were assaulted. And what does all the leftist media say? Pro-freedom, good guy, anti-racist protesters clash with bigoted police or some bullshit, or just clash with police, the implication being heavily that, the police shouldn't have been there in riot gear, and the police, just by standing there and keeping the peace, were inciting violence. Bullshit. You wonder why you're called fake news? It's because you literally are a fucking scam. And the reason why they lied to you is the same reason why I told you in the video about the black identity, which is they need to keep you scared, so you vote for them and so you give them money. Independent creators who tell the truth, of course, are cutting down on the racket that is the left-wing news media, which is it's a scam. It's literally, don't look at WikiLeaks. It's illegal to look at it. No, it's not. That's a lie. And Fox News is far from free of this. I haven't watched Fox in a decade, but I do very distinctly remember in 2008 that they shut out all coverage of Ron Paul and tried to prevent the neocon establishment from being overthrown by a libertarian upriser in Ron Paul. And the same thing fucking is happened with them trying to suppress Trump. And Fox News was largely complicit in fucking with Trump until it looked like he was going to be the nominee, and then all of a sudden they flipped the script in a hurry. They're fucking exploitative too. Basically, all these news medias operate on a for-profit basis. These are for-profit legacy news corporations that are here to make money. They're not here to tell you the truth. And whenever they do tell you the truth, it's incidental. And in the case of MSNBC and CNN, they will literally never tell you the truth. No. Their goal is to make money. So especially with the case of the left-wing media, but it was the case with Fox for years afterwards. Fox is they're coming for your Jesus and your guns, and the left wing is they're fascists who are gonna put you in a concentration camp, and everybody is fucking lying. None of that's true. None of that's ever been true. None of that ever will be true. Okay, that's all bullshit. There are no fascists in America. None. Okay? Trump is not a fascist. Trump, the hardcore conservative base, I don't even think it's his base, but the contingent of his voters who are hardcore conservatives, they make me laugh my ass off because Trump isn't even a hardcore of a conservative. He's a fucking centrist Democrat who's only fiscally conservative and only fiscally conservative up to a certain point. He's not a fucking Ben Shapiro paleocon, nor is he a religious con. He's just a fucking populist who's a culture warrior, essentially. And that is very much what we're in, is a culture war. And you need to realize that basically, to use a good analogy, is the left-wing news media is out there using nukes and dirty bombs and chemical weapons and white phosphorus and fucking mustard gas and every cheap, underhanded, low-down, fucking dirty Judas backstabbing, sick, fucking cowardly, fucking just backbiting little fucking bitch tactic they can, because they are dying. They're being strangled by an atmosphere that won't support them. No hands around their necks, which is why they lie about fucking right-wing violence against journalists when almost 100% of the time that a journalist, no matter if they're left or right-wing, and believe me, most of the time it's left-wing journalists being physically attacked by Antifa, almost 100% of the time it's Antifa attacking journalists who are not just left-wing, they're fucking communists. And most of the time, the people who are getting assaulted by them are left-wing journalists because the right-wing people are smart enough to stay arm's length away from these fucking psychopaths. The left-wing people are like, la-di-da-di-da, I'm amongst my kind. Stop filming, you new snitch. And then they get punched in the back of the head and the wire to their fucking camera is cut and their fucking iPhones are smashed. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? I'll tell you what the fuck is going on. You're enabling, aiding, abetting, and fucking boosting a violent, communist, anarchist, anti-American, anti-fucking human rights, fucking fascist brigade that calls himself Antifa. And if you ever go, we'll close with this, if you ever read any of Antifa's Twitter or any of that shit, they joke. With no substance, no counterpoint at all, but they just go literally, and I do mean literally, and I quote, her, Antifa's the real fascists. You fucking are! Do you have a rebuttal, you fucking psychotic piece of dog shit, you subhuman freak? None! Because you literally are a jackbooted thug who attacks the press. You attack civilians. The war on the press is coming from the left. And the left-wing news media has to support these people because they are easily exploited and easily used as a weapon. And the left-wing media has to not tell the truth that the left-wing news media is being violently assaulted. And that's the war on the press. And that CNN themselves and MSNBC and the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and all these fuckers are lying and literally slandering independent creators ad nauseum because they're competitors. They're taking up their market share. They have to do that. And so they can't admit that Trump saying you're fake news because you literally are fake news is not the war on the press. The war on the press is the violent terroristic left. I mean, shit. And I don't know how this is news to anyone because it takes no amount of looking, no amount of digging. This is not fucking big brain fucking journalism. This is nakedly fucking obvious. And to deny it is what makes you a subhuman piece of shit. Do not lie. Stop lying. When the entire world right now, when everything on all communication is just basic information that is distributed online and on TV. If you lie, when everything's information, lying is evil. It's literally evil. It's harm. It's deliberate, direct harm. I'm not going to say it's violence, but it's absolutely clear harm. It is evil to lie, to knowingly lie, to not just be ignorant or fucking stupid, but to knowingly, maliciously lie like the left wing does is evil. It's not hyperbole to call them literally evil. Because they fucking are.